Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Vintage Singer, also known as Jadalyn. I'm going to be doing a bit of a 90s look for you today, just kind of experimenting to see what works because I've never been able to fully recreate my makeup looks from the 90s. I grew up in the era of Spice Girls and early Britney Spears and all of that mid-gen millennial goodness, and I'm going to tell you some stories about what's been going on right now. If you follow the community feed or if you follow me on other social media platforms, you know that it's been a bit of a trying 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago I started with a really bad migraine that lasted for days and days and days and delayed the vlog, and then something else happened this week that I'm trying to recover from. So let's get started. I'm going to put on my moisturizer and tell you the big thing that just happened this week. My husband is an electrical engineer and he supports our family. He works full-time at a very popular arcade game bar restaurant combo Midway. It's basically it's a casino, you guys. It's an arcade. It's basically a casino that's you don't bet money, you just get tickets, you know. But I'm not going to say the name of the company for clear reasons. He is one of their master technicians, and he works on the Midway, taking care of the games, making sure they're in order and everything. Sometimes that's just like coding things, working on the computer that's misfiring, and more of the time it's fixing the physical machines that have broken down. And rather like working on the animatronics at Disney, you're working with some very heavy machinery and some dangerous things. And he had a bad fall, and he was pinned under the machine, and it broke his clavicle clear in two, broke one of his ribs. He has multiple contusions. He managed to get by without a concussion as far as we are aware. Honestly, we're really counting our lucky stars that it wasn't worse than it was. Because the way he fell, he could have broken his neck, and in addition to him being hurt worse or killed if, you know, it happened during business hours, somebody else could have been hurt too. It's a really, really bad situation. So I got a call on Tuesday morning, a FaceTime from him while I'm like completely out of it, telling me that he had been injured and he's at the hospital and he'll let me know what's going on. And as you know, I'm an ambulatory wheelchair user. I can't really leave the house without my mobility aids. I need elevator access for safety for multiple reasons, and I'll tell you about the reasons in a second. So I couldn't like just go to the hospital, because the hospital where he was, I couldn't get to with my mobility aids because there wasn't an elevator access on that side of the commute to that hospital. So I'm just kind of stuck at home waiting to hear from him and hoping everything's okay, because as you know, with like blunt force trauma injuries, everything can seem fine and then it can go very pear-shaped very, very fast. So he calls me again a little bit later after he's gotten his x-rays, and he lets me know that where his broken bones are and the extent of what they've found so far as his injuries go. And you know, and they're saying that he needs surgery, he needs screws and plates and things like that chest, and it's all very, very scary. And I'm also thinking, it's like, and how am I going to help him? Because I don't have the physical capability of helping him up from, the bed and helping him up to the facilities and things like that. So, we start talking to the doctors, and we start talking about, what our options are, and we managed to convince them to get him admitted for a few days in the hopes of getting him surgery while he's still in the hospital, so that he has nurses that can care for him and help him do, daily function. And so he stays in the hospital for a little bit and a couple of days, and they're having trouble getting him scheduled to get the collarbone set and everything. And so ultimately, as healthcare in this country does, they end up sending him home with very little care plan in place. And they do agree to send him home by ambulette, because he's like, I can't take a train home from here, with a broken rib and, a broken clavicle. The train motion alone is going to do damage to me. I can't do this. So they arrange for an ambulette to take him from the hospital to our apartment, which that's good, and I'm appreciative of that. But it's a hole that some people are like starting to talk about in care, is that if you don't have an able-bodied family, if you don't have friends who can come and get you and come play nurse for you, that our current healthcare system has made no allowances for that kind of thing, and there's nothing you can really do. And they just tell you that you have to figure it out, but that's not on them. Insurance won't do anything, and your healthcare professionals are kind of, as well as the fact that their hands are kind of tied with what their options are, they're also kind of functionally fixed, and they don't really think outside the box, because they are used to the typical family having a mom or an uncle or somebody who can come be the emergency person. But there's a bunch of people that don't have that, because Adam and I are both no contact with our families, and it's healthier that way, and it's safer for our teenage daughter that way, to be no contact. So we literally just don't have people in those situations. So he got sent home by ambulette to me. They didn't do anything like make sure he had a nurse. So I was with my little cane trying to figure out how to help him up and down. We needed to get up and down, and it's led to me being a little bit more broken than usual this week. So that's been fun. I've been hobbling around since he came home, because I'm in so much more pain. I have multiple disabilities. As I've mentioned on my videos before, I'm autistic. I have a tendency to ruminate and spiral, and that's why I connect weirdly sometimes socially. And then my physical disabilities is I have HEDS, hypermobility, and my connective tissue is too stretchy, as well as other things. It's complicated. And my most severe disability is POTS, which that is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Basically, my blood doesn't pump quite right. I'm putting it in really layman's terms, and I'm sure y'all have seen people around the internet talking about this. It's becoming more well known, this type of diagnosis. But my blood doesn't pump quite correctly. I dehydrate easy. I can't regulate my temperature. I faint at the drop of a hat. That's what took me out of being able to work, because I used to work full time and I couldn't even work part time because I started being unable to work a shift without passing out. And a lot of people go, fine, you pass out, you get back up, you continue. It's not like what you see on TV when you faint and pass out. One, there's no time to get somewhere safe most of the time. You're going down. And because we're top heavy, we tend to go down, path of least resistance, and that can often lead to head injuries, broken bones, etc., etc. So it is dangerous to lose consciousness, because like nobody's catching you. That's not a real thing. Sorry. Nobody's catching you. That's not real. And on top of that, when you faint, you tend to have other symptoms. I personally have a lot of nausea, and I end up throwing up a lot. Like it's not pretty when I get to the point where I'm just like hitting the deck. Like I look like a drunk on a bender. It's so bad. My final bosses, that I ended up having to leave that job because there was just no way for them to accommodate me, and they did try. So shout out to Cafe Chelsea and Sunday Hospitality. They were really kind. They did their best for me. But like, it's too severe. I can't work. I'm sure my final bosses, when they like first see me doing like fainting, they probably think the worst. Because it's New York City, and it's common for people to have substance abuse issues here. But yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was all my POTS just taking me out. So I'm fighting that right now while we are trying to give Adam the best care. And in addition to getting Adam home and getting him, taken care of and all of that good jazz, our daughter's 16th, her sweet 16th birthday is happening. It was yesterday. Well, yesterday for me. I don't know when I'm going to get this posted, but so we're trying to figure that out. And luckily, like, I had actually taken her to go see Wicked a couple months ago because I got some good tickets, and we celebrated her birthday a little earlier, like the real big party. But we were going to do a little something together as a family. This week, we ordered her a cake from Wegmans, and we were gonna light candles and do all that, family stuff. And now I don't have Adam to go get the cake. So I had to ask a friend, who I was very lucky was able to. They apparently work like really close by to the Wegmans that I ordered from, and pick up the cake and drop it off to us, so we could still light the candles for her, and she could experience her birthday on her birthday, which was nice, and I really appreciated of my friend who did that. The cosplay community has really like come out in full force. We have because Adam's not going to be able to work for the foreseeable future, at the bare minimum, we're talking about 5 to 6 weeks. And obviously, like, workers' comp is eventually going to kick in and pay part of his salary, and all of that good jazz. Eventually that's going to happen. But right now we don't have any income, and like pretty much the majority of the United States, we live paycheck to paycheck, especially now that I'm no longer able to work. So we have a GoFundMe up, and a bunch of people have donated to that. We've got a little over a week's worth of living expenses, which has been such a gift. We're trying to fundraise basically the 6 weeks of living expenses that we need to be able to function. And so I'll post that link there. Don't feel obligated, but if you wanted to share, if you wanted to donate, that would be just unbelievably appreciated. Like I said, the cosplay community has really come through in a really big way. I'm so impressed with their kindness and y'all's kindness. And a friend of mine also sent us some supplies for our pets, which takes a load off, because in these situations it's not just the humans that are affected, it's also our animals. So I'm unbelievably appreciative for the community, the sense of community, reminding us that we are not alone, and people do love us and care about us. So where does that leave us now? And then I'll get into the actual, the makeup look that we're doing. I was just putting on my foundation, a very basic foundation. So Adam is currently out on the couch. He wanted to come and be a part of this video, but I'm trying to keep him, from hurting himself. He wants to help, do dishes and things, but he only has one, and it's not his dominant hand, one hand to work with, so we're not allowing that. Yeah, and if you guys could leave a bunch of comments telling Adam to stay in bed, do the things that your doctors want you to do, but don't do anything extra, because you could potentially really hurt yourself, because he hasn't gotten surgery yet. He's got his surgery consult coming up, which is good, and then he's going to get his surgery and heal from that, and I'm hoping it's a real simple healing process. It's always scary when you're talking about pens and screws and metal plates and all of that, because it's just scary. I don't know if it's permanent pen, screw, metal plate. I don't know if that's going to stay in forever, or if they're going to remove it after the bone heals. I don't know how that works. I broke my elbow when I was 14, and this is a long time ago, so things might have changed in the way they handle broken bones. I know they don't actually recommend ice heat, that whole process anymore. That ice in particular can slow down your healing process, so I'm sure surgeries have also changed too. So he's gonna get that, and hopefully it'll be easy. Don't know what it's gonna look like, and I can't give too much information, because again, this is workers' comp situation. Workers' comp can be so yeah, that's a thing. And then his school is going to allow him to finish up over this semester over the summer, I think. He's either withdrawing or they're going to do incompletes. I'm not sure yet, but he's working on that. So that's where we are. That's why my channel has been in such an array of, I don't know what's happening. We had all these cool things planned, like you guys saw my picture of my Venus cosplay and that short that I did, the montage of that photo shoot, and hopefully after Adam is more healed, he can start appearing on the channel again, because he actually likes popping on and being part of this thing that we're doing together, and hopefully we'll be able to do more cosplay again. That's where we are. He's on the couch for the foreseeable future, because we have a loft style bed, so he can't climb up that and sleep. He's safer on the couch. Luckily, we have a really comfortable one. I keep bringing up because we've had some really bad adversity throughout our life. To give you some background, if you don't already know me, in 2013 our youngest daughter passed away. I mentioned that in one of our videos. We've dealt with poverty. I have been attacked on the train. Since we came to New York, we dealt with homeless. We literally lived in a shelter at one point. I've dealt with workplace harassment to a degree that it gave me suicidal ideation. I have, been hit by a motorcycle in the past year and a half. Like all of these things have happened to us, so we're not strangers to adversity. So I have a tendency to like pre-plan, and not in like that weird, hoarder type way, but like I try to make sure we have everything we need and we can, shop as little as possible. We're basically just, buying fresh veggies and fresh meats, as we need them. And I keep a freezer full of food to make sure, like in these types of situations, we have a little bit of a backstock to be able to function for like at least a week, maybe 2 weeks, without having to leave the house. It's obviously helped us right now with Adam's current injury. It helped when I was hit by the motorcycle. It helped in 2020 with COVID. That like for the first week to 2 weeks, we didn't really have to leave the apartment at all and brave, the pandemic at all. And so it's definitely been and this is why I do all of this extra like emotional labor and logistics and things in the between times and the good times, because it prepares us for when things are kind of hard. Not even just kind of hard, when things are hard. So yeah, that's what is happening. And I'll post that GoFundMe link, and I hope you guys don't mind so much that it's been a couple weeks between uploads, but we'll get back on the regular soon, and we'll actually get like some programming in soon. That's fun, and you can tell me what you guys want to hear. Guidance right now, so I don't have to decide so much, because decision overwhelm is such a thing for my autism. I get to the point where I don't want to make any choices, which is why it took me so long to like sit down and record this particular video. So yeah, that's that. Let's get into the eye makeup look. I want to do kind of like a Spice Girls, Pam Anderson thing. I can see I did not do my eyebrows super thin. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to recreate that part of the look. But I'm thinking like Jerry Halliwell-esque is what I'm going for more than anything. So I have a couple of palettes that I think I'm going to be able to recreate that look with. 90s makeup, was nice and frosty and pretty, and it was inspired a lot by a certain part of the mod fashion era in the 60s. So one of the palettes I'm using is a recreation of a 50s and 60s palette. It's the Hello Hollywood. This was I've forgotten her name, but she was a collab. She looks like Marilyn Monroe, and she lives in one of Marilyn's houses. But you can see it has the 90s blue and the matte white. That was really popular in the 90s, but that's also because it was popular in the 50s and 60s. And then I have ColourPop. I use a lot of ColourPop. I'm sure you've noticed that throughout my videos. Cloud 9 ColourPop, specifically because it has some of the white frosts and the silver frosts that I think are going to help recreate that 90s eyeshadow look very well. And then I have this Hip Dot Clueless collab that it's specifically designed to look like Clueless in the 90s, and you can see they've got a nice frosty blue in there. And so we're going to see if we can recreate that frosty bluey eyeshadow look. I'm wearing my Union Jack tank top, so let's give it a try. I'm going to start with ColourPop Droplets, which is a silvery white frost, and I'm going to put that on the brow bone and the highlight region, as you do. That looks nice. That looks very frosty 90s. And I'm going to get it into that deep set, as we've talked about on all of my videos, into the corners, but not just the corners, but shadow of your eye socket is, you want to get a little bit of shimmer shine highlight in there. And I don't worry about my lighter highlight colors, the fallout on the cheek as much. Okay, there we go. And that's already looking, you know, pretty 90s to me. So next, I'm going to crack open the Hello Hollywood and I'm going to grab my brush, give it a quick wipe down. Should have done this before I started the video. I have so many brushes, but then there's like 4 brushes that I use for pretty much all of my makeup beats. Okay, so I'm gonna put this directly on the lid, and this is the color Cinema, is what I'm using. And like I said, the 90s makeup was very frosty, which was inspired by the 60s. So we're going to go up and also put this along our crease and create basically a false lid. And that's looking good. And in the 90s, depending on which scene you were in, you were also putting it under here. I was, like I said, I was more Spice Girl, which had, I'm not gonna say grunge influence, but you would get some of the, like, those smokier looks out of the Spice Girls. Now we're gonna do the other side, and I'm gonna fast forward through. Okay, so I think that's looking pretty good. And honestly, there are iterations of the 90s look where I could slap on some eyeliner and mascara and we could call this look a day. You know, it's pretty close to what a regular teenager would probably do if they were allowed to wear makeup. Because remember, we also, we had stricter parents back then. There was less room for self-expression as a general rule. But I want to recreate more of a show look, like going to a concert look, or you know what the Spice Girls would have actually had. So I'm going to use in Clueless palette the Pretty Groovy, which there was also a resurgence of a lot of that 60s and 70s slang in the 90s, and which is part of what I find funny about the current everything old is new again, because the 90s we stole from the late 60s through the 70s, and we're inspired by our fashion there. We, you know, obviously had things that were our own, you know, variations of it, but now with the current generation wearing like the Y2K styles, they're, you know, wearing a further evolution of what is ultimately, at the end of the day, mod 60s and 70s, mod and boho 60s and 70s styles. Okay, so this I'm going to put across half of my lid, and I'm really just, I'm seeing what it looks like. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna put this across the rest of the lid so we get some shimmer here. And if you really want to get good coverage of this, I'm going to do on the other side some glitter glue to see if we get a slightly more popping color deposit with this frost. Let's see. Yeah. So if you want to recreate this at home, I highly recommend a glitter glue when you are putting your frost on your lid, because you can see the difference, between the deposit on the two. So that's kind of cool to see that in real time. I'm personally using the Valentino glitter glue. I've had this for a couple of years, although apparently I should have gotten rid of it after 6 months. Oops. But I also just recently, in anticipation of needing to get rid of that glitter glue, got the NYX, NYX, I don't know how they said it. There was some discourse on threads about that recently. Their glitter glue, which is $5, much cheaper, and I've heard nothing but good things, so I'll be swapping those out soon. All right, so next I'm going to use Fashion Victim, again in the Clueless palette, which is this one, and the crease. I don't know if this is going to do what I want, and so you guys hold your breath, crush fingers, and I'm just going to put that right there in the corner of my eye to give it some depth, and then just a little bit in a V-shaped pattern into the crease. And I'm gonna add a little more crease, but not too much. We didn't really do cut creases back then. This is really just giving you a little bit of definition, creating a little bit of depth. We didn't do a lot with depth in the 90s. At least I don't remember it being a lot of depth, but it was all frosted like a glazed donut as far as the eyes went. Now, next, I'm going to use this to help with the bottom lid. And you might be saying you look crazy, but in the 90s, we didn't really have all of these nice brushes. We had like the little like rubber tools, and you use your fingers a lot, and people who are really good at makeup used Q-tips. But I'm going to, because I have the tools and I don't have to do it the way we did it. I'm going to use my blending brush just to blend that in a little bit to get some pretty depth. And that's looking kind of exactly how I wanted it to. I think we have cracked the case. I picked the right colors for the look we're going for, and I'm so excited. Yay. Okay. So, and then I'm going to, wherever I put it, use my beauty blender to wipe any excess off, because I wasn't particularly careful. Oh, I really like how this came. It's so 90s. I need this joy right now. This is just a glimmer in a bad situation. So when I was in school, we didn't really use liquid eyeliner, but liquid eyeliner was still a thing. We used a lot of stick liners, but what I think I'm gonna do today is I'm going to do liquid liner on the top and then a stick liner on the bottom. I'm going to do one of the other things that was really popular. It was starting to fall out of fashion in the late 90s when I was starting to wear makeup, but I'm going to do the Princess Diana blue under eye liner, and then we're also going to pair that up with a brown liner on the bottom, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Let me see if I can move this so you can see more clearly. You don't push down when you want a tight line, you push up. This will prevent you from getting lines. And we're just gonna smudgy that into the waterline. Try not to poke yourself in the eye. And then get it a little under the lashes. You should basically just work it into that lash line. Be patient. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. Even if it's not 90s, it looks awesome. Okay. I'm using new microphones, so hopefully you're getting better sound quality than you usually get from me. Alright, same thing. Push and just apply it to your waterline. And then apply it to your lash line. Which are two separate things. If I was doing an 80s look, I might honestly stop here, but we're not doing an 80s look. We are doing a nice brown liner, because blue and brown are very popular at the time. And we're gonna, under your lash line, just smudge that in, and we're not gonna go all the way around and completely tight line, because we were kind of grungy and smudgy in the 90s. Like 3/4 of the way is the way. I actually haven't watched all of Mandalorian, but I've probably seen every single clip of Grogu online. I love Grogu. But that's not me. I'm just making pop culture references because Echo Lulu is local stuff. Alright, and up top I'm going to use a liquid, my Anastasia of the Forbidden Hills liquid, and we didn't wing, so I'm not going to wing now. It's really hard not to, so I'm going to stop best we can at the corner, yeah, and hopefully it won't mess it up. Same thing. Oh, a little dusty. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. You can see just this quick line around. Like I said, we didn't generally do wings eyeliner. It was all very tightly lined in. Getting one of my Q-tips just to smudgy in the corners a little. Yay! It's working out nicely. So on the top, I'm going to use a black mascara, and on the bottom I'm going to use blue mascara. Blue mascara was really falling out of favor in the late 90s, but again, because of like Princess Diana's influence, and because like pop stars were still pretty colorful in comparison to our everyday makeup looks, you would still see blue mascara on the pop stars and the celebrities of the time. 90s fashion was, you know, really fun if you were a celebrity. and were allowed to express yourself through fashion. 90s fashion, in reality, if you were a regular person, I grew up in the South, not like super strict South, but enough conservative that like you couldn't show a bra strap, you know, type of thing. So I didn't get to express myself in the 90s as much as somebody else, and definitely not as much as the celebrities did, because they're celebrities, you know, you're a regular person. But I am an adult, and I get to decide what that means. And if I want to wear mascara that is blue, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm putting the blue mascara right over the bottom lashes. I love blue, particularly if you have blue or green eyes, because it just makes your eyes pop. But not in a creepy way, I hope. You guys can tell me if my eyes pop in a creepy way. Okay. There we go. That looks so flipping 90s to me. Okay. And because we're talking about 90s, Y2K, 90s, I'm going to do just a very basic ColourPop matte pink blush. We use blush, not bronzer. At least where I was, everything was blush. And I'm just gonna, because we didn't really, I mean, I can't say highlighter didn't exist. It did exist. You saw celebrities wearing it, but it wasn't something that you could pick up at the drugstore. You could pick up body glitter, which I have some. I might put it on, we'll see. But I'm just gonna do it, you know, basically on the apples of my cheeks, leading upwards. And that, I look like I did when I was in middle school. Yeah, late 90s was middle school for me. Okay, next, I'm going to take my MAC lip liner pencil and Spice. Did we dry out? Nope, there we go. Just needed some TLC, you guys. There we go. And we're going to line our lips, just a little overline. I don't usually overline. But the brown tan lip liner combo with the frosty lip color. So you would basically line around outside of at least your lower lip. And I'm also gonna color that into the corner along the bottom border, leaving the middle of the lip for that liner, because you want the definition. And then upper lip you don't have to overline. But you can if you want to. Some people did, some people didn't. But it wasn't a big trend the way it became later on. I love ColourPop. I also really love MAC. They're all just, they do what they say they're going to do. And I don't know what MAC's prices are like currently because I haven't done a big haul lately. But they're kind of, they kind of middle of the road. And when you're talking about high-end makeup, but MAC is still ultimately a more affordable luxury item. I, for the longest time, was very anti any kind of luxury makeup. I was drugstore girly. I thought you could do everything everything with drugstore, and you can do a lot with drugstore. There's some, especially now, there's some really great brands that specialize in high quality and low prices. But when I finally started using things like MAC and Urban Decay, I started realizing why they had such cult followings, and that's because they were, you know, at the time, really high quality products. And so I have learned when something is expensive and it has a cult following, there's usually a reason for that. You can blame people who are just going along with popularity, but more than likely it's because their formula is particularly good. And that is the case with a lot of MAC products. I think I could probably go with a darker brown. This is more like mid-2000s. This is specifically the lip liner that Holly Madison said she used during her Playboy years. But I didn't want to buy a new liner. I wanted to use what I had. Okay. And now I'm going to use Erin Parsons gave me this lip color. Well, not gave me, she gave everybody this dupe color. We've got Mauved by L'Oreal. This is a recreation of Pam Anderson's lips, which every female celebrity tried to recreate in the 90s. So that just goes over the whole lip, and you can see it's nice and frosty. That's so 90s already, and we're not done yet. Let's just clean up the corner. I can't help it, I'm a perfectionist. Okay. Woohoo! And then this is CoverGirl. Can't remember the name of this now, but it is the gloss frost, and then that just goes over the top like so. Wow. Like a glazed donut. Okay, so let me actually see if I have a slightly darker lip liner. Here's one of my tricks. It is never too late to go back over lip liner. Oh yeah, I like that better. That's more 90s. This is also a way that you can maybe clean up your lip lines if you're feeling any kind of feathering. Just to clean up after you apply your lip color with a little bit of lip liner. And that was a Glam Dot, one of their Barbie lip liners that I just went back over with to give myself a little bit of definition. What do we think? Am I 90s? I think I am. Let's see if I have some. I know I have body glitter. Ugh. I just have to get it out. I don't really have 90s colors, so I think I'm just gonna go with a basic pink. This is once again ColourPop. It's part of their Sailor Moon collection. And just pop that off. And I hate putting my fingers in body glitter, so I'm gonna see if I can decide on an applicator or something. Let's see if this works. Oh, that needs a stir. love the look of body glitter. I hate the way it feels. Oh, there we go. God, I love glitter. And we're kind of just putting it over our blush, but where what eventually became like the highlighter area, because it's where you catch the light. And I'm using a brush to kind of spread out. In the 90s, we would have just used our fingers. But again, like I said, I hate the way body glitter feels on my fingers, so we're using a brush. Forgive me, I'm sorry. I'm not that committed to the bit to do it the old-fashioned way. It's a sensory nightmare. Okay. All right. There we go. Hey y'all. We got some glitter going on. You know what? I'm not mad at it. We did it. Yay. We are 90s fabulous. We are Spice Girl fabulous. We are Ginger Spice fabulous. We did it. All right. Tell me in the comments what you would like to see next. What looks you'd like to see. If you want me to go back to Harley Quinn's gonna be inevitable because that was the plan. I also have a fully recorded date night with Adam before everything went pear-shaped. We went to Fogo de Chao, and I was gonna post that for you guys. Just let me know what y'all would like to see in the comments, or if you think there was something that maybe I did not quite right, that you would like to see me fix in another video, if we want to do another 90s video, or if there's like a specific 90s look that you'd like to see me recreate a particular celebrity. Feel free to share pictures with me, or tell me where to find them, because I would love to. I have a big makeup collection, and I love to share dupes and tricks and things with y'all, so we can all have a good time. Yeah. All right. So I will keep you all updated on the situation with my husband and everything. Thank you all so much for supporting us through this very trying time. We love you. Adam loves you guys too. He's become very attached to the Vintage Singer Yaps channel. Peace, love, and high notes, and I will see you all next